Hello, Fast LEGO Studios here, and welcome to the 6th week of building the LEGO life-sized Spider-Man sculpture. So in the last couple of weeks, what we've been doing here was we constructed Spider-Man's legs, head, and arm. Taking a look on how the legs were constructed here, what we did was we connected just about one brick layer going across here, and as well that we ran out of blue bricks here, as on a bad note here, because right about there we ran out of 2x4s, 2x2s, and 1x6s. 2x4s being they provide the most clutch power, 2x2s coming in the second place of clutch power, and 1x6s providing good structure beams going across. Now, once I ran out of those bricks, I really can't do much because they provide very good structure for the entire model, considering that I'm using no glue or metal armatures to kind of support the entire model. This is all based upon clutch power if I hadn't said this earlier in the series. So with that being said, my progress for this week, or what I'm hoping to get progress for this week here, is to get up another 30 brick layers tall from here all the way up. Get like the waist done, get some of the webbing pattern done, and so on and so forth really. Hopefully we can get some pretty good progress this week, and the Bricklink order should be coming in just about today to finish everything off. Taking a look at Spider-Man's hand here, what we've been doing was we made some good progress here. In last week's episode, this is what we really have been focusing on at the end of the segment as well. So some of the progress that we've made was we made the hand gesture look quite nice here, and as well as we expanded the webbing patterns going up and out. Now I'm going to have to postpone building the hand for now, just because once the shoulders are in, I'm going to have the webbing pattern run into this hand, which should soon enough make a very nice transition. So for now, I'm going to postpone building the hand until the shoulders are in place and build everything like that. Taking a look at Spider-Man's head here, we haven't really made much changes to it just because there's really nothing much to change there. Just made some plate moves around, and that's really how it ended up looking. Looked really nice, and yeah, that's just about how the head went together. Taking a look at the rest of the model, that's really what we have as in the recap of this week. Now let's move on to those building updates. Alright guys, and starting the week off strong here, what I decided to do was a speed build, and as you see, I'm building the legs of Spider-Man, making the connection point between them. And not only that, as I was building Spider-Man's legs here, his legs basically, they broke apart, and the reason for that was the connection point wasn't very stable there. I then later noticed it, and I edited out of this area here. It happened somewhere around here, and I had to reassemble the entire model. It was a complete disaster. It was a complete disaster and a stress on how everything kind of just fell apart. The distancing was incorrect between the feet, so I got confused at the beginning with why was this happening again, so it was really just terrifying of how it all just happened all at once, and I was really not prepared for it as well, so I had to like grasp each end of the sculpture, making sure it does not break. That problem sooner or later kind of basically just went away. Luckily, it was gone, which I was very thankful for, that it just kind of disappeared there. It was definitely not a fun moment. It was probably the worst experience that I had while building something this kind of size, because I never built anything this size in particular, so it was quite a challenge to build it. Considering that I'm using completely no glue or armatures whatsoever, like LEGO Master Builders don't have that problem of it being unbalanced or the bricks not being at a correct distance or something like that. They have glue and armatures that are like very good reinforcements for the structure, while I just want to make it like pure LEGO, no cheating. Like I'm more of a LEGO purist, if you know what that means. I just don't want to use any glue or anything during the process of it, no modifications of LEGO pieces, just completely LEGO pieces, and the clutch power of LEGO pieces is really my challenge here on while I'm building this massive LEGO sculpture really. That is just some of the things that I'm doing as I'm building it. So once that really happened there, I started just reinforcing the model completely with dense LEGO bricks, just completely densing it out with just colorful filler bricks that supported the model and the area where it just kept on collapsing. So once that was supported, everything kind of just went smoothly from there. And then from that lesson, I just learned that I shouldn't be able to do that. I should be able to attach more structures in between layers here. So the structures that I attached here, later on in the model, I started attaching more of these struts, basically just going across the model, which support the model from collapsing, or I'm just taking precautions now basically, because I'm just scared what next could happen to this model, so that's basically the precautions that I'm taking. But with that being said, that's really the update that I have for this model. As you may notice a little bit later in this model, the model starts leaning forward a lot more. That's just because there's too many bricks going in the opposite direction, but that problem will be solved a bit later. But with that being said, let's move on to the rest of the video. Alright guys, and here we are. You can see that we've attached about 4 more brick layers of height to this model, as well as I added some structure beams going across and horizontal in here to kind of make out a little bit more structure going everywhere and prevent any like collapsed areas or anything just about here. As well as I made the exact same thing a little bit lower down in there to kind of prevent that exact same situation. In the center here, I've made a much more dense, thicker core here to kind of prevent that going right across there where the connection point happens. But with that being said, that's the progress that I've made for this model. Alright guys, and here we are with the end of the week segment. And as you may notice, I've assembled quite a little bit of building here. So taking a look at the first area that I assembled is the entire area across the model, which is all the horizontal building. Taking into consideration all these plates that have been used around there, which are 1x2 plates, 1x2 in red and in black, to make out all these like semi-circle pieces that make a webbing pattern look. And I used plates there just because I wanted to fine down the webbing pattern. In fact, I used plates all the way around this model is because I wanted to fine down the entire amount of webbing plates just going around the model. So that's really the reason there. But apart from that, you can see that I've started to build out some of the webbing patterns here and planned out where I want to have some of the webs going across here. I will have a rough idea of where I want to have the rest of the webs going out and in which direction here. So that basically, I have a rough sketch out of how that should look. Apart from that there, I have really assembled a little bit of a structure beam in the inside of the model to kind of prevent any collapsed areas once more in the inside. Just as I did a couple layers before and a couple layers before that as well, so that really should reinforce the model a lot more. But in terms of balance here, the model is really wanting to lean forward a lot, and there's not a lot of weight going in the back, so the model really wants to lean forward here, and that may be a problem, but I'm gonna have to do with what I have here. Hopefully in another couple of layers, once the model kind of curves back here, I should be able to kind of make it rebalance. I guess that's the way to put it there. So we could see after a couple of layers. So taking a look around the back of the model here, you notice that I've assembled all the semicircles as well on the back, as I mentioned earlier in the video here. All of them kind of went around the entire model. And as well as you notice that I've started to begin to kind of go outward or up as the back of him is going, so all the weight should be transferred this way, so the model should finally maintain its balance once that is all done. But with that being said, that's the update that we have for the week. Now let's move out to the outro. Alright guys, and as a recap of this week's episode, what we basically have done is we received the Bricklink order, then we nearly dropped to the feet on how everything kind of went together. There was a distancing issue, so once that got solved, everything kind of finally balanced out, and I kind of began building once again from that. Luckily, the legs didn't completely fall down and get destroyed, so basically saved them there. We built up just about 30 brick layers tall, which excelled our goal in that. But apart from that, we haven't really made any progress to the head, once again because we finished it, nor the hand because, once again, I'm going to be postponing that till the shoulders are in place and everything, so I know the webbing pattern outline, and I can go from there. But with that being said guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and leave a comment in the comment section down below of what do you think of this massive Lego sculpture. But with that being said, keep on building, and bye.